And welcome to another episode of Stock Talk. I am your host, Mike, and with me I have Kage. Kage, what's going on?
Tired today, but I'll get through it, I guess.
We got a decent show planned for you today. We got one of the first stocks we're going to talk about. These are the top trending stocks that are some movers and shakers. Is APE, AMC Entertainment Incorporated Holdings. A lot of buzz online about this right now. Last tick was $2.72. October 2022. Obviously, you had a little bit of more of a high, but your shorters have been shorting the freaking piss out of this, Kage, and they're just people are like, just hold the line, don't follow the shorts and hit the panic mode, because some people are out there on the boards. Some people are hitting the panic button, and the army of apes is like, dude, do not panic, do not hit the panic button. Stay the course like you always do. So, I mean, if you had to take your winnings and what you had to do, whatever's your game, but they're saying don't give up on Ape there. What do you got?
I think that's a pragmatic approach that they're taking. So I think it's optimistic, and I think there is something to be said about that optimism that they've got. It's mostly like power to the people, stick it to the man kind of energy. So I like it.
Yeah. What do you have on the twits? Ooh,
I'm gonna look through the comments here real quick. How about this one from Moondog420? He says, APE bullish. Don't get me wrong, I like both. But in this situation, I think I'll hold for the garlic bread. And it's got a picture of two beautiful women. One says bread on the one side, and the other says garlic bread on the other. And he says, in this situation, I think I'll hold for the garlic bread.
Exactly. This system wants you to dump, and they want you to give up and quit. They want you to go home. They think you're freaking a joke and everything like that, but you're not. And you've broken them before. And so why give up now? Do not give up the fight, guys, as far as that goes, because that's what they're counting on. They're counting that you go home. They're counting that you quit and give up and go watch a soap opera or something like that. And just you've done what you've had to do, and you've sent a message to them. Going on to Yahoo Finance there. Looks like the latest trade. This is coming from the Alphabet Media, so just take it as it goes there. In the last trading session, AMC closed at 688. This was on what is this? October 3rd, 2022. So they're trying to put the scare there. In the latest market session at 688. Prior, the Dow gained 2.66 with tech heavy. Is this a dead cat right here, or what do you think there?
With the market, the whole thing was just big cat bounce and whatnot. Looking at the actual chart for where it is,
not particular for this stock, but I'm just saying for the market. You're going
back
for
the market. That is the case. The dead cat bounce, yes. But for this stock, it's been mostly stable overall. It's been falling ever so slightly over the past month, but
from what we've seen on the boards and everything, and with the manipulators, they're saying that the shorties are trying to freaking mess and manipulate again.
And mind you, this stock is actually really new since it adopted the new symbol APE. I think they got bought out. I think so.
Yeah, and you got the Simps and the Mockingbird Media. They're like, prior to today's trading, shares of the movie theater operator had lost 21.51% over the last month. This has lagged consumer directory service loss of 13.09% and the S&P loss of 9.22% in that time. Some of that actually, guys, could be from the downturn in the economy, with people not going to trimming some of the finer things in life, like going to the theater and things like that. Wouldn't you say there, Kage?
I would have to say that is the case. I mean, going to the theater kind of was a thing of the past before streaming services, where people are now not necessarily going out and just waiting for the actual movie to come out on their streaming service and watch it then.
You're not talking about
have it programmed on their machines to record, and so they can watch it anytime they want.
You're not talking about like on Spaceballs where you can see the movie before the movie actually happens and rewind it and play it. Nothing like
No,
that.
no. I'm talking about how the technology is mainly based on digital, and
Hmm.
digital is fast, and the manner in which it can be implemented and not necessarily just spun on a disc or whatever other media that you want it
Hmm.
on is it's a whole lot faster and a whole lot more streamlined for with streaming services, with watching movies and understanding their business model.
Well, at least where we're at, the movie theaters are still packed, but there's some of that you're in a downturn, and so obviously the stock would suffer from that. But the alphabets, because they are hooked up with their buddies there, they like to write negative articles, especially anything that has to do with a consumer stock. They do not like the retail traders because they're in bed with the hedgies there. What else do you have from the real traders on the twits?
How about this is a long one from Glenn Tiberius? Should I do it or should I?
Yeah, any DD or anything he's
It
got.
looks like this one did a lot of due diligence. He says APE bullish. So let's sum up the last couple of days. We have the SPY shooting up like crazy while credit default swaps continue to explode across the
Exactly.
world. The
Mm-hmm.
UK pension fund problem is continuing, and now BlackRock and others are withdrawals in their real estate. Reet Ellen Chang posts an article that Credit Suisse can't seem to keep CEOs the day after the bank surges in swaps, and also states to its employees that it's in critical moment. Ray Dalio suddenly decides it's time to bug out and bonds start crashing in a liquidity spiral, just as
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk decides to suddenly reverse himself and ask his bankers to cough up the dough for Twitter. If the Bears are winning, I'd hate to see what losing looks like for them. I see
Yeah.
his point. I
Yep.
see his point.
The bear.
There's a
The bear.
that is actually confirmable information that he just
Mm-hmm.
laid out for us with
Yep. You're not.
several different things happening all at once.
A take like his is excellent because you're not going to get that kind of analysis on the alphabet media. They're just going to tell you, "Oh, it's over. It was a good run. It was fun." Yada yada yada. They're just counting on you to give away the cheap. Uh, so going on to back with because we cover both sides, we have to cover the alphabets. AMC will be looking to display strength in its near next earnings release. In that report, they expect AMC Entertainment to post earnings of -0.027 per share. This would mark year-over-year growth of 38.64%. Meanwhile, the latest consensus estimating calls for revenue of 1.02 billion for 34.26 prior year quarter. Looking at Zach's consensus estimate suggests analysts' earnings are a negative $1.39, which they're not saying like he was saying before. Is that you have this negative growth. When you have a negative GDP for 3 months in a row, of course it's going to be affected. It has nothing to do with, oh, dude, everybody gave up and this and that. It's just, it is what it is, what's happening. You have to go, unfortunately, we have to go through these market corrections there. I'm going to go on the stock twits with you unless I see anything more relevant on the alphabet news. Here we go. Everybody's non-favorite SNL parody. Let's see. AMC Entertainment memes star again thanks to Saturday Night Live parody. Let's see what this is all about.
Nicole
Seeming
Kidman.
Yeah, seemingly everything AMC touches now becomes a meme. Even a spoof of the chain's year-old ad online sensation after being parodied Saturday Night Live. In the show's season premiere, Chloe Feynman did not take on AMC Holdings, and actress Nicole Kidman expounds the magic of watching the movies in the theater, and SNL took the idea a bit more literally. In the parody, Feynman and Kidman goes into extolling the virtue of theaters to becoming something like a Marvel villainess floating in midair, emitting lightning to her hands and feet, turning over moviegoers into entrance servants. So there's some of that with that article. What else do you have on the twits? And I'll try to finish this parody thing here.
How about this one from Bo Knows 34? He says, APE bullish. This is just hilarious. We saw this coming going on 2 years ago. The
Mm-hmm.
hedgies Wall Street and the elites have had plenty of time to attempt to straighten this mess out, yet they choose not to.
They do
We
it on
are the
purpose.
visionaries. We are never wrong, just
Mm-hmm.
early. Pay the apes, Fraud Street. And it's got a picture of a baby throwing money out the window.
Yeah, that it's true. It's true exactly what he said. The problem is they're on full collapse mode. I can't do the rest of the article. Nobody cares about that anyway, or SNL. So it's basically it's cooler carrying for the political elite there, and they just copy everything they do off there. But yeah, that's the thing is this is self-employed. This is Cloward and Piven, and if you're not awake to Cloward and Piven, go and look it up. So this it's self-implosion there. What else do you have on the twits? I'm going to go looking on there too because I'd rather see what the traders are saying than what the alphabets are saying.
There's a couple that were actually new, like 7 new people just posted on the twits since we spoke. And this stock's popping. It's being watched very carefully.
Oh yeah, it's one of the most popular stocks in the past 2.5 years.
How about this one from Broke Gopher? He says, APE bullish. The corruption's so deep, the government can't deny it. If they effing try it, there's gonna be a riot.
That might be one of the best.
How's that for a rhyme?
Yeah, and you can't now you can't do we're not going to take it anymore because apparently he doesn't like he got too political, man. He should just stay unpolitical, man. So you read about BlackRock there. This is why this is the best board. It's got all the good memes. Did you read Bo Knows 34?
Yes.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did that one. What else do you have while I'm cruising through here?
How about this take from Dead Cat Kicking Your Ass? How's that for a name? He says, APE bullish. Hedgies, you blew your load. You dropped us down too low. You threatened us. You cheated us, and you effed us. What you didn't do is you didn't get us to sell, and you didn't cover. And now look at us. The price is so low, we don't give it S anymore, and banks are starting to fail. Congratulations. You could have just paid us $100 or $200 a share billion shares ago, and we could all have left as friends. Now we have to destroy you and everyone that has helped you these past 2 years.
Yeah. That's the thing is apes get it. They get it. They're not your friend. Do not give them any of the cheap seats and do not sell anything. Do not sell. Do not hit the panic button. That's the problem. A lot of us hit some of us out there. We're not naming names, but they just gave up. They went away. Just go back to life. I guess I'll just not mess around and I'll just give up. Dude, it's every day, man. Every day you got to be in the game there. So Ape's ready for some money. Did you read that one from Stoltz 13 where he said Wall Street turned the page? Some strategists look ahead to October, which has been a bear market killer based on historic strong returns, especially midterm elections. Every time S&P 500 drops 7% in September, stocks have done well in October. You got possibly interest rate news coming out again that will lead into November, and then you have more numbers, financial numbers coming out at the end. So it's all going to be based on that, and I don't think that's going to be that great, especially with the Atlanta leak on third quarter, things like that. So that's not going to be a good deal there. What else do you have?
How about this one from Ape22? He says, most APE, most steadfast and tenacious group of investors the market has ever seen. So proud of all my ape friends. Check out OBV. And he's got his chart in the comments.
This is the best board. Big Joe 96 says Paulie's plunge put on there. He just retweeted. Bernie Madoff created a structure, stole billions from the 1%. They buried his ass, then used the same model to steal honest working people. Let that sink in. Ain't that the truth, huh? So here's your hedge fund asset managers have not are recorded a net short U.S. equity futures, and it's in the freaking. So yeah, they're not your friends. Politicians ain't your friends either side. I know some of you don't like it when I call the uniparty and stuff, but there ain't no difference. Just one's worse than the other, but they're all connected and they all love each other, and they're not your friend. So, do you got anything to add on this one there before we go to the next?
I think we did good. I think we're ready for the next.
Yeah, there's only a certain amount of alphabet stock talk or alphabet news that I could take before you just want to freaking throw up, because it's always the same stuff. It's always them out with their pom poms cheering and things like that, and it's just I'm just
it's always the same. It's new names, new messenger boys, but same old story.
Yeah, and it's all about protecting the wealthy class. That's all it is. They are for the elites, and that's it. And it's just disgusting, man. So that's why you need term limits there, man. But who am I? I'm just a person with a YouTube channel, and that's it. So going on to the next stock I have is NU Holdings. NU Holdings Ltd. Last hit Kage was $4.99. Chart for today looks pretty good. It's after hours -2 cents, but that means absolutely nothing. Year to date, going on the chart, obviously in 2022, the beginning, you're starting to see where Navarro called it back in February. You're starting to see the market drop correction. That's where that point where the resistance dropped on your chart. But now we're seeing resistance popping up. I wonder why. We're going to find out why with that. So going into what would you say they do here? Let's go down here. They're a holding company. It carries investments for several operating subsidies and engages in digital banking services. The company was founded by David Vels Osorno and Christina Zingetti Jinquera. I probably butchered that, but it is what it is. And Edward Vital. So sorry about that. Looks like February 26, 2016 is headquartered in your favorite place, Kage. You can go get some Antarctica beer from there, and that is Sao Paulo, Brazil. Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. There's a real song that's you should go look it up. So all the homies from what is it? All in Sao Paulo with the Antarctica and the Guadana, the freaking yerba mate. You know, was it Sambazon and our other buddies there? Kage?
The chart, it looks to be overall pretty healthy. It kind of dropped to its lowest point in June, and then it bounced back up and is slowly on the rise. So,
well, what do you got? What do you have on the twits as far as comments?
How about this one from Swaggy J123? He says, "NU bullish. Guys, this is a multi-year hold. They are already cash flow positive in their Brazilian business and are reinvesting all profits into their Latin American countries, Colombia, Mexico, where they are experiencing growth much faster than they did with Brazil. There's huge opportunity for digital banking companies in these Latin American countries, as it is cheaper and easier to use than traditional banking, and new systems like the best option for these consumers by far. Only a matter of time before the numbers speak for itself."
Okay. What else do you got there?
How about this one from SCNC? This is kind of a long one. He says, "Even down or choppy economic periods, there will be successful growth stories. New banking has emerged as one of the biggest successes, continuing to grow customers and revenues at lightning fast speed, blowing past projected goals with no slowdown in sight, and currently still extremely undervalued given in continued growth projections. Berkshire, Tencent, SoftBank, and over 200 other institutions/funds are betting this as well. Digital neobank Nubank reaches 70 million consumers in Latin America. Almost 2 million have purchased crypto. Exchanges Bitcoin news." And he's got his little link to Bitcoin.
So what we have on the Motley Fool, or some people would call it the Motley Tool, you have they basically put out this plug here. It says the Brazilian new holdings spiked today, or no company specific news. So there's no news, but it's spiking there. And it appears the company stock was gaining around in response to broader optimism in the market today. So again, it's a dead cat bounce. But they're trying to get you to say, they're trying to tell you that, yes, everything's good, it's going back to normal. And I'm here to tell you that with all the spending and things like that, this is why you don't take everything into account with regime cooler carrier talk. So just an FYI, I'm not scary to tell you to do what you have to do, but you got to be precautious. But I'm still going to go and cover, because I want you to see what they're saying. If you're not seeing what they're saying, I know this is going to trigger you, but it's not designed to do that. You just have to stay up on your opposition there. Many stocks were rallying. The S&P 500 ended in the worst month since October or March 2020 in the S&P. The S&P was up 2%. Heavy tech composite gained 1.6 of this writing. There wasn't any clear news in driving the share higher today, but many investors assume that it's a brutal share price loss when the market experience over the past year reaching the bottom. New holding shareholders are hoping that the worst may be over for fintech. See, there's how they put it there. The worst may be over. If you got the bond markets hemorrhaging, you have fuel prices, inflation out of control, everything's still up and everything. People are going to Walmart and they're not buying the gallon of milk. They're buying the half gallon because they can't afford the gallon. You have a problem. So, and like I said before, people were noticing that in their carts. So, but this is some regime talk where they try to get you to think, hey, get on the dip, do this, and that. You have to be pessimistic and optimistic. So they're saying that the stock recently had its share price down 41% over the past 6 months. Gee, Kage, I wonder what that's for.
I have to say, most people, when they're in poverty, they have a hard time getting out of it. I will say that.
Well,
if without help, that's even more rare. So
I love it at the bottom of the article, and this is why I read through these. It says, should I invest in this? Should you invest? What do you mean, should you invest? Are you relying on if you're relying on a news article to invest, I can't help you.
Yeah, then we can't help you with that.
Yeah,
we're just looking at the information in front of us, making an educated guess with where the market is right now, comparatively with other things that are in flux. But yeah.
What else do you have on the twits? Because like I said, the twits has the boards have more information there. If you are new to trading and you want a straight up thing, now some people on there are cooler carriers for whoever, and they're pumpers, so you got to be careful if you're new to trading. But you can get a lot of information from the retail traders that'll help you and could save you from wasting a lot of money. Taking your hard-earned money is not what you want to have happen. Did you check out this guy? What else you got? I'm just looking for news articles while you're doing that here.
How about this one from SA Trader? He says, NU bullish. Warren Buffett should buy this out. Fire sale price, only company that is hitting on all cylinders, growing in this tough economy. And he also says in the next comment, he says, thank you, MMs, for the sale today. Should move up to close. Bogus machines know nothing. This stock should be double by year end.
What else do you got?
And that was from SA Trader.
So I got an article off of the twits. It said digital neobank Nubank reaches 70 million customers in Latam. Almost 2 million have purchased crypto. So the Brazilian-based digital bank has announced a new milestone in its operations. The company announced 70 million customers in Latam. So that's just for there. That's 70 million. That's reoccurring revenue right there. Is that something we need to consider in there, Kage, when you're looking at this kind of stock?
Yeah, that's a good chunk of change. People should not take that sentiment lightly, or that
70 million in reoccurring revenue right there. That's huge in itself. And I'm not carrying the cooler for the stock. I'm just telling you, if they got that backing, that's something to consider when looking at it. One of the biggest institutions of its kind in Brazil. The company also announced almost 2 million of its customers are cryptocurrency investors. One thing you want to take into mind when investing, though, if with Brazil, what's going to happen between Luna and Bolsonaro there? Because Luna's a socialist. I mean, how much could this affect these stocks that we've been talking about the past 2 nights? I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just saying, think of that before you look at everything too, as far as when you have one guy's a socialist and the other guy is on the other side. So you have two. I mean, the guy has said he's a socialist, So Nubank reaches 70 million customers. Crypto customers reach 1.8 million. Latam has a fertile ground for companies providing alternative finance and cryptocurrency-based services in a unique set of circumstances. Nubank, as a Brazil-based digital neobank, has reached a milestone region and announced it's serving 70 million customers. Most are expected or based in Brazil. However, they've managed to get to other markets such as Mexico, and the 3.2 million customers in Colombia as 400,000. So they have seriously a lot of customers there, Kage. That's huge. And this article was buried in the Alphabet News, didn't want to touch it because they wanted to give the negative on it. Because do you think there was some kind of reason why they wrote a negative, Kage?
Probably due to the fact that they're betting against the market and they're horribly outclassed comparatively with where everyone else thinks this stock is going to go.
Is it possible that someone wants to get in on the cheap seats?
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. What else do you have on the twits? What are they saying?
New holdings. How about this from Sweepcast? He brings his charts and his receipts, and he's a plus member on Stock Twits. He says, unusual options observed. NU with our scanner on $6 call expiring November 18th, 2022, worth 125K. Bull. Use this in real time with Sweepcast. And he's got his little chart in the comments with what he thinks about this stock and where it is right and why.
He says, so on this article for Bitcoin.com, it says, according to the press release, more than 1.8 million customers have already made at least one cryptocurrency purchase using Nubank's app. So you take that 1.8 million times all the numbers that I read across the field. That's a huge number. And that's just that 1.8 million customers making one transaction. Imagine that going over, or even half of that, or a quarter of that. So again, not carrying pom-poms or cooler carrying for this stock, just saying that it's something to consider when you're looking at this. The acceleration growth is driven by an ongoing search for efficacy, which balance expansion on new products, increase revenue per customer. Nubank project is the next decade and will remain firm in our purpose of freeing all people from complexity in financial services in Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia. It's exactly right. Let's help build up Latin America. Why can't we in South America? There are brothers and sisters, and we need to get their stuff going too. It's like let's focus on that area. You know what I'm saying? Trying to help people get out of poverty and things like that, man. There's a lot of work to do down there. What else do you have on the twits?
Sorry, I had to drink some water here in a bit.
No problem.
How about this one from Itachi Invest? He says, NU bullish. Been here for a year, and this is a swing trader's dream. And it's got a picture of Homer Simpson with dreaming about a tipped over beard truck and Homer about running around with his mouth open.
Have you noticed a lot of the stocks in Brazil? Have you noticed the charts have been consistent for the past little bit there, for the past year or two during all the financial crisis stuff?
Yeah, it's been consistent overall. Yeah.
Yep, these stocks from Brazil, they're pretty dope, man. There's a lot to be excited with them. The crypto market thrives in Brazil. They go on to write, the company opened its cryptocurrency trading services, 54 million customers in Brazil in June, holding Bitcoin part of the balance sheet. Some of that holding is just a rebellion against the system too, don't you think?
Yeah, obviously.
Crypto is the big screw you to the system is basically what it is. So we're gonna have to see how this plays out. Also, there's another thing I think I should cover in here to add to it. That one of the biggest rivals of the company is Mercado Libre, an e-tailer company that started offering crypto services last year and recently issued its own cryptocurrency called Morado Coin. Other companies have also followed suit, including Rico, a financial brokerage platform that aims to offer crypto services for 2023, and PicPay, a payment platform that plans to roll out its own Brazilian real-based stablecoin. So there you have it on that. So it's starting to take off with other things there. Healthy competition is always good competition. We don't want to have like we have with what we talked about recently with the cookie companies, how they're fighting with each other of how they have a copyright on chocolate chip cookies, which is really stupid. They have a copycat on a recipe that, anyway, the same thing. It's just hopefully they do the healthy competition, things work out. But, check this one out and research it. Check it out and see what you got. What other comments do we have on the twits?
Let's see. Sweepcast, I already did him. NCNC, I did him.
Could be anybody you want. There's lots of comments.
How about this one from Olive Invest? He says, "Forget buy and pray." No. That's an ad. Sorry.
No problem.
I'm just looking through each one, and not a lot of them have really good great comments to share. But how about this one from Riggs22? No, not that one. That was just about news. I think it's tangentially
news is good.
about
All information. News is good unless you got a funny one that you want to share.
Yeah, there's a lot of news about the president of Brazil with some of these comments, and I think he's tied it innately to NU, this stock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard rumors on both sides with that situation. Luna's going to win in the second round. And then I've heard that it's going to be close, that Bolsonaro is going to, we'll see what happens there. I don't know how it's going to play out. It's a sticky situation. And we can't talk about it too much because of certain things that are going on. But you know where to go and find it. If you do, if you don't, then it is what it is. But this isn't about a race. It's about the next stock, which is DNA. Ginkgo Bioworks Holdings Incorporated. Kage, we were here just a little bit ago when we saw resistance come up in August and September. Well, guess what? We are back again, and we're going to hit this one. You're seeing the resistance come up, but it was -4 cents after hours. But that's just how the market rolls after hours. Some people dump after hours. Shorties get out. Now, this one's an interesting one. Going on to what would you say they do here? They're a biotech company, platform in the market of agnostic, and enables biotechnology applications across diverse markets from food, agriculture to industrial chemicals, pharmaceuticals. It operates through a cell program foundry and biosecurity segments. The company was founded by Jason Kelly and Rashama Shelty and Bartholomew Canton and Austin Shee and Thomas Knight. Lots of founders there. In 2008, and is headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts. Going on to stock twits, Kage, because that's where the real traders hang out. What do you have on the twits?
I'm seeing a bear take here for the beginning for DNA Ginkgo. Okay. He says it's from DNA. It's spelled NAY. DNA. He says DNA bearish. I can't imagine holding this company believing it actually will survive with no products on the market. Even Canada has removed a lot of their travel mandates by COVID revenue. And he also has on another comment down below his first one. He says, bag holders think because they have cash, they won't be diluted. Ha ha ha. They are buying business in an attempt not to fail. So sad. Get out while on this pot before it dumps.
Okay, so my only, because I'm not going on one side, I'm not going on the other. What I always say with these ones are watch the
Watch
different
what they're doing.
stages.
Yeah.
Well, watch the stages, what they're in as far as stages of development for certain researching they're doing, because I'm not saying that this guy is trying to get people to dump, but some people do that. He's just trying. I'm assuming he's just trying to give his take, and which is fine. But if you can get if this thing goes down and someone can get this at the cheap seats where they know something is going on down the road where they're going to gobble this thing up. Like, who would have thought that Neurovax would have been at 3 or 4 and change unless you watched some conspiracy sites and you knew things were going to happen. You would be loaded today, and a lot of people did jump in on that, and they made a lot of dough. Some of us didn't. Some of us shorted, and we made chump change compared to what could have been made. So shares are trading higher Tuesday for the company announced. I'm just saying, be careful when there's different pipelines of things for these stocks. For the acquisition of Altar and Cellularis, terms of the deal were not disclosed. Altar is a French biotechnology company to develop proprietary adaptive evolution platform. A fleet of Altar's automated adaptive laboratory evolution instruments have integrated Ginkgo's foundry. Ginkgo has previously collaborated with Altar on customer programs. Cellularis is a biotechnology company and circular RNA promoting screening platform. Here's another thing, too, I want to throw into the mix, guys. RNA technology is just going to keep on developing over time. So the whole thing with Canada and this like that, they have other things in the hopper without going into too many details about anything or going into too many things that YouTube won't let us discuss or anything like that. But there's different types of technologies here. And so it just looking from a straightforward thing with no bias, you have to look at what they have development in the hopper before just saying you give up or whatever. So that's just something I'm going to throw out there. Solaris is a platform expected to strengthen Ginkgo's platform, developing cell and gene therapies, providing capable to quickly identify novel promoters who appropriate characteristics. They're expected to leverage expertise team to further circular RNA methods for therapeutic use, and can't wait to incorporate technology existing in upcoming cell programs. So that's why we saw the jump. That's one of the reasons why we saw the jump, because of the hype. I'm going to go to the website, and what do you have on the twits? Read every comment, because everything is important, and we're going to go back and see where the stages are right now while you're doing that.
How about this one from Red Panda 49? He says, DNA bullish. So MS gave a DNA a very conservative price target of $5. Their model hardly includes biosecurity. We are 3.50, very undervalued.
Okay, what else do you got?
How about this one from Green or Meds? He says, DNA bullish. Anyone else feeling the momentum in this company? I'm impressed with the strategic acquisitions of late and the Washington connections. I can see why Kathy loaded up on it.
You that's the thing, is you simply cannot give up on biopharmaceuticals, even if you have an agenda. If you don't like the companies, just don't invest in them. But they're not non-smart investments, just because if you hit on hard economic times, medical things are not going to die off, unfortunately, unless we're going to reset zero. Okay, this company's got nucleic acid vaccines, so they've got that going on. You have the testing. They have the medicines. You have let's see what else they got. Strain improvement for sustainable agriculture. There are and this is not me. They're in cannabinoids too, apparently. Flavor and fragrance, scaling bio. There's so many things here that could develop. You could ride each news pop. And no, I don't have shares in the stock. I'm just telling you, state the obvious here. So Kage, if there's a trader out there that let's say they come in new, and they go to this webpage and they see these things, with these types of stocks, the advantages of having these type of biopharma, it could be any company as long as it's decently funded and it's not below $1. Because I don't really, that's just not my bag. I don't like to invest in anything that's under $1. That's too risky. A lot of people have made a lot of money, but a lot of people have lost a lot of money. But if you go with somebody like let's just say, for example, when you look at a company like this, you have to say how many things do they have in the hopper? What's their funding? as far as what they're getting. And as you hit those news cycles, you're gonna jump, and then sometimes you might be tempted to short out, and then get back in again at the lower price, and you can ride that consistent chart wave, or you can just grab it whenever your buy coin is, and then hang tight, and then wait it out till the next breakthrough is on the next news cycle. These types of stocks, the great thing about them is there's tons of news cycles. This is like what, the third time we've talked about this one in a year because of the news cycle, Kage?
We've covered it quite a bit.
Yeah,
we've covered it quite a bit throughout these past few months. Yeah.
I don't agree. I don't agree with as far as people and what they say about. I mean, they have their takes, but you got to look through that everything they have here and remind yourself that there is news cycles, and you can ride these news cycles to help you. There's too many things here to just say, hey, I'm just going to throw this out. I'm not gonna take a look at Ginkgo. I'm not gonna be that person that's gonna sit here and tell you that. What else do you have on the twits?
How about this one from Samalex? He says DNA bullish, and he also has another stock, PLTR, and he says identical coincidences. Both have a platform named The Foundry, cutting edge technologies, doing important business with the US government, billions of cash and minimal debt, brainiac CEOs. I'm looking forward to seeing both these companies growing into giants of their respective industries.
Yeah. Not promoting this. I'm not a promoter. I don't do any of that. You guys, if you've been along with this channel, you've known that. If you're new, you can go back to my videos. I do not carry the cooler for any of these companies whatsoever. So I took a non-biased look at things, and I call it as I see it. And I'm saying that the first take that we had, good take, but it's just that one is suspect to me, just because you can't just throw out what they have going on here. I mean, you got research in next generation antibiotics here. You got that, and there was other stuff I didn't even see on here either.
We take all comments, and I think he was trying to get people to give up their cheap seats, and so that he could come in and swoop them up.
Yeah, and so some people will come on the show. They'll comment on the show, and they'll be like, "Well, why do you guys think that some of the comments are?" We don't. We read them so you can see what people are saying. So,
and I'm not necessarily putting words in the horse's mouth. Yeah. I'm just reading what they're actually saying and take that for whatever it's worth. And we're trying to give our own analysis of what they are, the strategies, and what they really mean to these people.
Yep. So that's all we're doing. We're reading their comments, so you have an idea, and this way you don't get caught, in something stupid, or caught with it. So don't listen. In the end, you got to be yourself and not do what someone says on YouTube or someone says in the newspaper or online in an online article. You have to do your own research. We're just here to go over what they have. I think we pretty much covered what we had to cover, as far as we know why they're in the news. They got a heavy hitter company going on. So I think we can just leave it at that and wait for the next breakthrough, where we're going to talk about this again, apparently. It's just, these things are time. They're a matter of time. Nobody had any idea, except for very few people, of what's their names were going to do. Norovax. No one had. Few people, a lot of believers. I remember the chat boards, a lot of believers, and you could have got in at that at cheap. Go look it up, how cheap it was, and where it was around 2020 there, 2021. So
yeah, it's kind of the whole fog of war kind of mentality. We don't necessarily know what's directly in front of you for the future, but hindsight's 2020.
Everything's a risk. But don't go taking advice from anybody online or anything like that. Just go and do your research. Hopefully the show helps you out a little bit with that. So so where you can go through and hear what people are saying about it. Real people, you know, they are behind. Some are fake, but some are behind a computer. So, but we try to cover everything. Do you got anything to add to this, Kage, before we jet out of here?
I'm good. I think we gave this one a fair shake, and
Mhm.
we covered a wide variety of things. And looking at the chart, it looks pretty healthy ever since
Mhm.
March and April. It hasn't necessarily gone too far away from that median
Mhm. Yeah, and this,
since March, late February.
and again,
I
guys,
mean,
some of that.
of course, it kind of cast off and everything during in December and January into February, but that was to be expected.
And some of that has to do with this correction. There has to be the market correction, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But some big breakthrough could send this thing off freaking to wherever. So it's just a matter of, are they going to get the funding? Is someone going to have a miracle breakthrough here? And you know, that's what you're waiting for, and your hope is with every stock. So, but we'll see where it plays out and see if we're covering it again in a couple months to see what they got cooking. But other than that, don't make it a dog show. And good night now.
good night.